Hello, and welcome to the fourth episode of the Beginner's Guide to Modding GTA San Andreas, where I'm going to show you how to prepare your game for modding, how to install mods, and also show you which mods I think are essential to playing San Andreas on modern systems. Let's get started. So for this fourth episode, we'll be covering downgrading, ASI loaders, mod loader, and Clio, all of which are necessary to have when it comes to modding San Andreas. Before we start, however, I'd just like to recommend that if you have an SSD, it's best to install San Andreas on that over a hard drive. In my hard drive experience, San Andreas will have micro stores or hiccups with streaming if you mod the game with improved textures or models. If you haven't got an SSD, don't worry. It's not that big of an issue, but ideally if you can, install the game on an SSD. A couple of more things before we start. If you're using the Rockstar Games launcher version of the game, make sure your game isn't installed in program files on your C drive. These are protected folders and it'll mean the downgrader won't work, and some mods can't generate necessary files. Steam automatically gives the San Andreas folder special permissions to make changes within that game folder, so this only applies to the Rockstar Games launcher version. To fix this, open the launcher, go into Settings, select San Andreas, and click Move Installation under Move Game Files. Move the game folder to a user folder such as Documents, another drive, or if you have Steam installed, install it in your Steam Apps /Commons folder. And the last thing before we move on, if you previously launched San Andreas before, I'd recommend deleting your settings file before we begin. While it's unlikely, it can cause crashes after installing mods, so it's best to start fresh. To do this, go to your Documents folder, open San Andreas user files, and delete GTA_SA.set. And now we're ready to start, so let's move on. So first, we have to downgrade our game. San Andreas has several versions, from the original release of 1.0 to 1.01 to the Steam version and the Rockstar Games launcher version. The most moddable version of the game is 1.0, which is what we'll be downgrading to today. I'm going to show you how to downgrade the Steam and the Rockstar Games launcher versions of the game first, as these two versions require a bit more work. If you're not using one of these versions of the game, just skip to step 5 of this chapter. Step 1. This step is for the Rockstar Games launcher version only. Go into the launcher, open Settings, and disable automatic updates for San Andreas. Step 2. Download the San Andreas downgrader from the link in the description. Thanks to Tomasock for creating this tool. Step 3. Once downloaded, go to your downloads folder and use 7-zip to open the archive you just downloaded. Copy everything in that archive to your San Andreas directory. Step 4. Once you've copied the files to your directory, run install.bat. And step 5. Once it's finished, download the GTA_SA.exe I've linked in the description. Once you've downloaded it, copy it to your San Andreas directory. Replace the exe that's already there. And now you're done. San Andreas is officially downgraded to 1.0. For the Steam version, you can continue launching the game through the Steam app. For Rockstar Games Launcher, make sure you only launch the game directly from the exe, as it won't work through the app. So next up, we'll download and install our ASI loader. ASI loaders are necessary for a lot of mods that alter and improve the game engine. There's been a lot of ASI loaders over the years, but the best one we have now is the Ultimate ASI loader, which is made by 13AG. Step 1. Download the latest version of Ultimate ASI loader from the link in the description. Step 2. Open the archive you just downloaded and copy the DLL file from the .zip to your desktop. Next, rename the file to vorbisfile.dll. Step 3. Move the renamed DLL file to your San Andreas game directory, replacing the original file when prompted. Step 4. Create a new folder in your game directory and name it Scripts. And that's it, you now have Ultimate ASI Loader installed, which will be used to load mods that use the ASI file extension. ASI mods can be installed in the main game directory or into the scripts folder. The scripts folder is generally neater and easier to manage, however a lot of old ASI mods won't work there. So if you experience any issues with older ASI mods in the scripts folder, just try moving them into your main game directory instead. We'll be covering how to install an ASI mod next. Now we'll move on to Mod Loader, which will be your biggest friend when installing mods for San Andreas. So just a bit of history on why Mod Loader is necessary, as I think it's important to know. As an example, before we had Mod Loader, if you wanted to change the texture of the Infernus, you'd have to extract infernus.txt from an IMG archive, which is where 99% of the game's models and textures are stored. After extracting, you'd back the file up, make your changes, import the file again and rebuild the archive. If something went wrong, you'd have to repeat the process. When using Mod Loader, however, once you do your changes to the texture file, you don't have to go back to the IMG archive. Instead, you simply open your Mod Loader folder, make another folder with the name of your mod, and simply drag and drop infernus.txt into that folder and you're done. No IMG archives, no rebuilding, no worrying about backups. If the TXT was somehow broken and crashed the game, it's not the end of the world, as you simply delete it from your Mod Loader folder and you're good to go. Mod Loader also supports installing mods like model and texture replacements while the game is running, so you can experiment without restarting the game. It also supports profiles and allows you to prioritize specific mods over one another. So for example, if you're using two map texture mods and they replace the same files, the mod with higher priority will be used over the lower priority mod. And that's the general gist of it. Mod Loader makes it easy to install and organise your mods, and we'll be covering how to do exactly that in the next video. But for now, we have to install Mod Loader itself, which is easy enough. It's an ASI mod and we already have our Ultimate ASI Loader installed. So step 1. Download the latest version of Mod Loader from the link in the description. Step 2. Once downloaded, go to your downloads folder and use 7-zip to open the archive you just downloaded. Copy modloader.asi into the scripts folder and then copy the Mod Loader folder itself to your game directory. And that's it, Mod Loader is installed and we'll be going over ways to use it in the next video. And last but not least, Clio. Clio is used to load mods that use the CS file extension. Whereas ASI mods mostly alter the game engine, Clio allows modders to use the game's native scripting language within the engine. Before Clio, you'd have to add certain mods to the game's main script, and doing this would usually mean your save file wouldn't work and you'd have to start over. With Clio, these scripts made by modders can be compiled and easily run in the Clio folder independently from the main game script, allowing for easy installation, and it also means your saves will work. Clio also adds a bunch of extra functionalities which modders can use. So step 1. Download the latest version of Clio from the link in the description. Step 2. Open the archive you just downloaded and only copy the Clio folder, base.dll and Clio.asi into your San Andreas game directory. And now Clio is installed. While Clio can also be installed into the scripts folder or Mod Loader, it's not recommended, as you can have some odd compatibility issues with some mods, so just leave it in your main game directory. Thanks for watching part 1 of this beginner's guide to modding San Andreas. We've downgraded, installed Ultimate ASI Loader, Mod Loader and Clio. In part 2, we'll go into installing actual mods and which mods I think are essential to playing San Andreas on modern systems. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to support the channel.